If your favorite starter Pokemon couldn't be fire, grass, or water, what would it be? Comment down below to let me know. Starter Pokemon have always been fire, grass, or water, but today we're going to change that. Disclaimer though, type balancing shouldn't matter since this isn't something Game Freak would ever do, so we'll avoid game balancing issues for this video. Starting off with the Kanto starters. Charmander is a lizard. I think it could go either normal or it can become a bug type. Alright, Bulbasaur. Since it's a frog, it could perfectly fit a poison type. The huge flower on its body could be argued to be poisonous, so I think that would fit. Lastly, Squirtle. My immediate thought is to make it rock. I can see its shell being hard as a rock, so it could definitely work. For our Johto starter, Cyndaquil gives me normal vibes. I can't unsee Cyndaquil after Gen 6. Seeing Cyndaquil without its flames makes it seem so normal. Chikorita can definitely turn into a fairy type. After all, Flababy's design has a flower, yet it never turns into a grass type. Lastly, we have Totodile. I think this Pokemon can turn into a dragon or a dark type. Dragon for obvious reasons I explained in the previous video, but he also looks like a conniving cute little alligator. Perfect for a dark type. Moving on to our Hoenn starters. I think for Torchic it's pretty obvious. Just turn it into a flying type. It's pretty uncreative, but it fits perfectly for the Pokemon. Trico could definitely turn into a normal or a fighting type Pokemon. In the Pokedex, it says that this Pokemon never backs down from an opponent, so it makes me think of it as a fighting Pokemon because of its fighting spirit. Mudkip is pretty easy, just turn it into a ground type. It's got mud in its name. But if I had to pick another type, it could also turn into a rock type. It can easily destroy rocks, so it's pretty sturdy. For the Sinnoh trio, we have Turtwig up first. I think it could either turn into a rock or ground type. Many Pokedex entries mention the soil on its body, so immediately rock or ground. Chimchar could turn into a fighting or a dark type. It gives off some mischievous vibes, and it can learn 8 dark type moves. Piplup is also pretty easy. I think it could turn into an ice type. In Scarlet and Violet, it's in the cold icy biome, so it just makes sense. And finally, Unova. For Tepig, it could turn into a normal type. It looks like a normal Pokemon since it has no visible flame. Tepig and Lechonk would definitely get along. Our next starter is Snivy. For this snake Pokemon, I thought it could either turn into a dark or poison type. I'm leaning more towards the venomous snake route, but it's also got a very mischievous look, which I love. Oshawott is our last Pokemon for today, and I think it could turn into an ice type, for the same reason that Piplup is an ice type. They both are found in the cold, icy biome in Scarlet and Violet. However, its shell is very strong, so that can make it a rock type. I felt it was difficult to find other types for some of these starter Pokemon. Some felt very obvious, but for other Pokemon, I feel like I was stretching a bit. So what do you think? What types would you give these starter Pokemon? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay tuned for part 2, where we go over Gen 6 all the way through Gen 9. Hey, if you enjoyed this type of content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and leave a like. Thanks for watching. See ya!